I'm here to talk to you about how you can find out what your customers really want, and I'm going to give you five strategies to actually do that. But first, let me introduce myself. My name's Janice Gordon. I help businesses to grow through their customers, and it's really about understanding their customers and their customers' language. I helped one company grow their business in less than a year by 6 million, which is an astonishing amount of money. 6 million. But you can grow your business too using these very same strategies that I used with this company that had massive success. And so I'm sharing with you in this Facebook Live series about customer centricity. Let me just press that again to stop it focusing. So I'm talking to you about how you can really understand what your customer wants and needs. Really, if you don't understand what they want and need, they're not going to buy it. So these are some great strategies that I'm going to give you to do that very same thing. So, I've been talking a lot about customer centricity, but absolutely core to that is your customer, is understanding your customer and getting customer feedback, having a two-way conversation, and have given you lots of ways you can do that and ways of structuring your business to actually do that. Customer centricity is really about, it's critical to survival these days, because as I've said in past Facebook Lives, that your product and your service isn't really what customers come to you for. It's really about the experience that you give them. So you've got to constantly test the experience to make sure that it is in line with their expectations. So it's really important to do that. So make sure that you share your insights as well, because people are really keen to find out how you've got on with some of the strategies that I've been giving you. But also, if you have any questions, make sure that you post them, and I always go back in and I answer all of the questions that come up. I post this on YouTube, and I also do a blog on Monday. So if you want to kind of capture all of the details, then make sure that you read my blog on the problem-solver. So, how do you find out what your customers really want? IBM in 2016, through their global C-suite survey, really looked at this and they identified two things. And they said that an increase in customer focus as customers as individuals was really important. And secondly, they said that increasing customer feedback was absolutely a critical factor to them ensuring that their preparedness for the future. So what this is saying is that customers are enabling your business and your company in order to remain relevant in the future. And this is why customers absolutely need to be core to your business. Now, I have said in my book, Business Evolution, about, actually, I meet loads of businesses that don't ask their customers nearly enough questions. But asking your customer and really listening to what they have to say, it does assume that they know what they want. And certainly Steve Jobs, he is known for saying that, don't ask the customer, they have no idea. Let me press that again because it's still focusing and I'm not moving that much. Steve Jobs said that, you don't bother asking the customer, they don't really know what they want. To a certain extent, this agrees with that. But, the thing is, there are ways of gathering really intellectual knowledge from your customer in the way that you ask the questions, in the way that you position yourself with the customer. The important thing is to remember that your perspective is almost the opposite of the customer's perspective, because it's like this. I'm looking into the camera and you're looking at me. We're on different sides of, the subject, the product and whatever I'm selling, you're buying. So our perspectives are coming from opposite ends, and it's really difficult for business owners and managers and executives to really understand the mind of the customer. but I'm going to give you 5 strategies so you can do exactly that. And they're brilliant strategies, and it's not really rocket science, but it enables you to get a lot closer to the customer and really understand their wants, their needs, what influences them, what is their competitive environment. What you see as your competition may be judged on your product features and benefits, and that's how you do a comparison. Whereas customers may, again, they have a completely different perspective, and they may be using that perspective, so you may be overlooking who is really your competitor. So it's really important to walk your customer's path. Really important to do that. And I've talked a lot about this in terms of customer experience and all, explaining, you know, the touch points and how you can analyze them, how you can improve them. But you've got to test them, and test them, you've got to walk them, or you've got to get people that you trust. Mystery shoppers are really good here as well. So, you know, Gerard Zietman is the author of How Customers Think, and he said that 95% of our thoughts, our emotions, our learnings occur in our unconscious mind. And we are not aware of this consciously. So that's really interesting. You know, a lot of our emotions and the way that we think is completely unconscious, meaning we don't know it ourselves. So customers don't really know their own minds, because a lot of their influences, a lot of the processing happens unconsciously. So that is massive, but it's important to be aware of that. And when you're asking questions, when you're listening as well, and the way that you probe customers, to be aware that actually we are influenced a great deal by the environment that we're in. So if we're out having a drink and most people are drinking wine, generally you'll probably drink wine. If you're out and most people are drinking lager, generally you will drink lager. If you were to ask a customer, you know, what's their preference for the drink, their environment would influence their decision making. So you've got to be aware of that. You know, if a customer's in a certain peer group, then normally they want to fit in, and so they take on the cultural norms of that group, that they're influenced by that, and that will influence how they answer the question. So it's really important to understand that we all are customers, and think about when we make decisions and things, and what our decisions are based on, and how we're influenced, and how that changes over time. So you being a customer, you know, when you're asking or trying to get information from customers, you really need to understand that there are going to be things that influence them, and it's about understanding what those influences may be. So it all goes to show that we are really complicated animals. You know, it's not straightforward. However, we live in a complicated world, don't we? And we all manage to survive that. We all manage to negotiate that. So don't let this put you off and think, oh, you know, this is all too difficult. Getting in the head of my customer, you know, I can't do that. Let me just press this again and try and stop it from focusing. The focusing is switched off, so I don't know why it's doing that. It's so annoying. Anyway, so, you know, it's really, really important to get into the mind of your customer, to take on their perspective, and there's lots of ways of doing that, and it's really important that you look at this not only from your existing customers but your potential customers as well. So when you're actually looking at your customers, you know, you're looking at the future of your business, and your potential customers may take over from your existing customers. So it's really important to understand, you know, who your most valued customers are and the kind of information you're getting. And the information you're getting isn't just relevant now, but actually it's looking at, you know, your customers in the future and how your business is evolving. This is really key information to make sure that you're relevant. Remember what I said at the top of this, is that your customers keep you in business, but they keep you relevant. They future-proof your business. So it's really important for you to understand who they are and really get close to them and understand how they think, what influences them. So to get close to your customers that are ever demanding, you need to get inside their head, and you need to relinquish your own bias, your own perspective. And that's really difficult for us to do. It's like having a conversation without having a personality, really. But that's exactly what you need to do in your business. And so it's about changing the environment you're in to your customer's environment and really living through their eyes. So here are the 5 ways to actually do that. This is how you can begin. And it's really a journey for you as well. Begin to understand what your customers want. Begin to get a lot closer to their environment and their influencers and what the true competitors are. So the first thing is really to take on your customer's perspective. I talk a lot about this in my book, Business Evolution. Take on their perspective, because it's the only perspective that matters in your business. No one's interested in you. I say this quite a lot. I'm sorry. I know you've worked really hard to grow your business, to manage your team, and you're doing really well, but no one's really interested in you. It's all about the customer. I'm sorry. Really, it's about their perspective. So it's really about understanding their choices, their influences, their suppliers, their environment. What is the thing that influences them? How do they make those decisions that really are unconscious decisions that they're not aware of? So it's really about studying your customer, studying their environment, studying how they move, studying the other things that they buy that may complement, your products, and really understand their lifestyle. So it's about their psychographics of the customer, not just the demographics of the customer. That's really kind of bog standard stuff. So it's really understanding the kind of deep-seated influences on your customer. So the second thing is really to experience what your customers experience. And this is really going on the same journey. This is going through the touch points. And there's lots of ways that you can actually do this. I've shared a little bit before when I worked with AOL. I put together a session, several sessions across Europe, where I got the technicians with AOL to actually go on the same journey as their customers. And so we would get their actual customers, set them an online task, and then the technician would sit with them wherever the customer would normally do the online task. So if it's in their bedroom, they would sit on the bed with them and watch them as they went through that particular journey. And that's where I discovered that customers are the best creators and innovators. They really find the shortcuts that the designers, the technicians haven't created. So it was a real revelation for a lot of the people that experienced what their customer experienced in the customer's environment. It was a real revelation. And so that really helped them to improve the portal. But I've seen lots of other examples of this, where a hospital will get their interns to be fake patients to actually go through a touch point, whether it's the booking in process or to experience the doctor's bedside manner. So there's lots of things that you can do like that, and you can gain real insights as to what your customers actually experience by doing this. If you go through the whole journey yourself, you actually know what the process is, and your bias kicks in. So it's really important to design ways to do it so that you experience what your customers experience. So the third thing is to put your team in your customer's field of vision, really. And this is about getting your back office, getting your front-facing team of people to be in your customer's environment. So they literally move into your customer's office. So it may be one or two of them sit where your customers sit. So they're not in your business, they're in your customer's business. So if you've got a most valued customer and you have a strong relationship with them, this is something you can easily set up. But you don't ask, do you? You don't ask. And think about it from the customer's point of view, the business that you might be working with, or the most valued customer that is a sizable chunk of your revenues. Think about it from their point of view. You're saying that you want to learn more about how you can give them a better service. Now, what customer wouldn't want that to happen? Of course they would want that to happen. So allowing you to sit in their business while they're ordering from you, or you do the ordering on their behalf, you then understand the process that they have to go through. What are the blockages? What are the issues that you can easily resolve when the frontline team or the back office go back into the business, because they've really sat in the customer's environment and really began to understand how, you know, it feels to do business with your company. So this is a great way of actually doing that. You do that with your most valued customers, your biggest customers. It's really important to do this. These are massive insights that you get that you can really leverage in your business, and allow you to actually create a better service for your customers, and also learn about, perhaps there's real innovations, there's new things that you can do for your customer that, you know, you see unmet needs by sitting in your customer's field of vision, sitting in their business. So it's really important to do this. IBM, but lots of companies, not enough companies though, but IBM does this as standard. They send their kind of senior executives and senior team to sit with their customers and really experience what it's like to do business with IBM. But you can set that up too. You don't need to be a massive company to actually do this. It's really about thinking about, I'm a customer-centric company, and all of the things that I need to do to make sure that I'm meeting my customers' needs, because they're at the core of my business. They're the ones that are going to keep me alive and breathing into the future. So this is what I need to do to make sure I am relevant. So the fifth thing, I think, the fourth thing, sorry. Getting confused here. I've got a list to make sure I'm keeping on track, and I'm still not keeping on track. So the fourth thing is about co-creating. I've talked along in previous trainings, Facebook Lives, about co-creating products and how you can do that. So make sure you go back and look at that, how you can do that. But it's really important to learn from your customers. They are the best innovators and creators. GE is known to invite their top Chinese customers to co-create with them, and the benefit of doing this is that their senior executives and their account managers, you know, that work with that particular customer, really begins to understand the mindset of the customer, and not only that, the customer understands how to, you know, builds relationships within a large company, which is always very difficult, but also it really helps both parties, more particularly, you know, GE. So if you were doing that, then, you know, you would benefit a great deal by co-creating, setting up seminars so that, you know, you have a certain problem and you invite your top customers to sit with you to iron out, you know, the best ways of actually resolving that particular problem. Have them round the table. So I talk a lot more about that in co-creation. And then the fifth thing is consult future thinkers. I did this when I was a project manager for an innovation company, and one of the projects was working with BP Retail. This was years and years ago, so that's why I can talk about it now. And what I did is I had to find future thinkers that had different specialties, different expertise and disciplines, and bring them all together. We were in France in a chateau, and they were tasked to look at what would the possible future be for BP Retail, and they were really tasked to push the envelope, and they did. Some of these crazy things, from redesigning, you know, of forecourts, and, you know, it was just incredible and really exciting, the creativity in the room, from people that were real kind of techies to those that were real kind of future imaginaries. It was such an exciting process. So can you pull together a think tank of people that have a diverse range of expertise and skills? Invite them round you know, for a dinner and pose a question and really kind of record all of their responses. You can do this in a really low-tech way. You don't have to fly people in from all over the world. You can do this, and they will, you know, iron out or actually bust a lot of your own preconceptions about, you know, where your business should be. And because they've got different expertise and specialty, they may bring in real insights that you haven't even conceived of yet, that you can start to investigate with your team in your business. So, you know, consult with future thinkers. There's real benefits there, but also have your customer around the table as well, because there's no point in designing for your future customers in a vacuum. You know, their views really do count, but there's real valuable insights that you will get from doing that that's very different to actually kind of having people in the field of your customers. So these are the 5 ways that you can actually do it. So it is important to ask your customer to get regular feedback, but these are where you're really going to bypass, you know, a lot of your own bias and perspective, and really kind of get in touch with the customer's environment and see how you can move your business forward. And so remember that your perspective is completely opposite to your customer's perspective. So really your job is to think about how you can create a process, a project, a system to make sure you bridge that gap. How you can make sure that you bring your customers' thoughts, influences into your business to really help you to create products, services that are going to be relevant to your customers in the future. You know, I wrote a dissertation when I did my MBA about diverse teams and how they really accelerate creativity and innovation. And so really look around your business. How diverse are they? Are you really utilizing the diversity of your team? If you're not, you may have real assets within your business that you're not already using. If you don't have a diverse team, how can you create that as well? Not necessarily sacking and bringing in people, but there are ways that you can do that in terms of your board, your board that might actually support you. You know, how diverse is that? You know, your group of advisors, how diverse is that really? So you can actually get lots of diversity into your business if you may not have a large team of people. There may be just you, but you know, are you actually tapping into a diverse source of advisors? If not, then it's really about time to think about that. Diversity really does accelerate creativity and innovation. It really does get a diverse set of views, and so it helps you to think more like your customer that is on the opposing side to you in terms of their perspective. So really think about how you can bring in diversity into your team, or diverse influences into your team. So, you know, if you follow some of the examples that I've mentioned above, you will future-proof your business by using your customers, using their influences, using, you know, their perspective to enable you to create the best products and services for your customers that meet their specific needs and wants. So this is all about customer centricity and how you can ensure that your business transforms itself to engage more with the people within your business and the people outside of your business, to really value your customers by putting them at the core of your business. If you understand your customer's perspective, this is really critical. So listen up, it's absolutely critical for you to understand your customer's perspective. You must bring them to the core of your business. You must understand their wants and needs. I've given you five great ways for you to actually do that. So hopefully you're going to pick one. Let me know which is the one that you would pick that you can use in your business. You don't have to be a large business. I've given you lots of things that you can do as a small or medium business to make sure that you remain relevant in your business. So let me know which one of those 5 are you doing now. Great. On which one would you will you be doing fairly soon, as soon as I switch off this Facebook Live and post it. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Make sure you view the blog that I post on Monday in around about 5 o'clock in theproblem-solver.com, and you can also make sure that you like my Facebook business page here to make sure that you get notification of more Facebook Lives, and go back and look at the previous Facebook Lives, Wednesday Wisdoms as well, because there are lots and lots of insights